range of expertise, geographically speaking, when it comes to Guanacaste. I can give general opinions about listings that I see. I can give some ideas as to what I would want to see in general, in due diligence, but obviously I'm only going to really give insight into listings that are in my area. I'm owner broker of Coldwell Banker Pacific Realty here in Playa Junquial, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. If you're interested in moving to our area and you want to find out more, be sure to email me to matt@cbpacificrealty.com. Be more than happy to help you if you're interested in the area where I can help people. Today, we're going to start out because this is the first Costa Rica real estate forum. We're going to start out with a few listings. Hopefully everybody has by now understood the forum joke and the toga and everything, so we can hide that for a little bit. But essentially what we'll be doing every week now with our live chats is accepting listings from viewers that we can review and go over and look at specific questions. I hope to get some listing suggestions live. Feel free to post those in the comments, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching this on a future recorded version. And we'll just start doing this forum here where we're talking about current active Costa Rica real estate listings. Now, obviously, I'm going to have to respect copyright and I don't want to step on anyone's toes. I don't intend for this to be a negative gossip fest where I say all the problems that I can see with a property. I really don't want to harp on anything negative, but in fact, I really want to help people just sort of examine listings from a completely fresh perspective, give some thoughts as to what I would consider as important to understand about the property, and hopefully get a dialogue going with my millions of viewers out there, the faithful audience who have those burning questions about different pieces of inventory on the Costa Rica real estate market. Thanks very much, as always, for joining me. I appreciate it. Stay tuned. An important update here for our Costa Rica Real Estate Forum folks. Dimitri has provided me with the first cold, tasty Imperial of this afternoon. Cheers to everybody out there and welcome to our Real Estate Forum. Without further ado, let's first talk about how we're going to bring up listings here, because frankly, I can't just put other people's pictures, their information, their listings up on my YouTube channel without their consent. And most often it's going to be too involved for me to get prior consent. So what we're going to do with our real estate forums is present listings that you can check out as well from home. We're going to start out by bringing up, oh, it's on this side, our QR codes here. We have different listings that this QR code right here will link to the listing profile itself. So if you're watching on a tablet or computer or your TV, all you need to do is take out your phone from your pocket, take out the camera on that phone and hold it up to the screen with this QR code. Because we're starting with some of my listings today, we can talk definitely about, I'll bring up the listing profiles as well. The three listings that we're going to talk today about were actually suggested by a viewer, one of my faithful fans, Steve from California, who asked me to go on a little bit more and provide some information about three specific listings. And what I want to do is use all of these listings as a way to bring up a different relevant subject. And this first one being our $250,000 charming, enchanted fairy tale cabin here in the woods. This property is located about 15-20 minutes from Tamarindo itself. And you've got a full hectare or about 2.5 acres of land associated with it. So it's got a really large lot. The home was entirely built by its owner out of teak. There are a few pieces of Guanacaste in the home. The stairs are made out of different wood, but the rest of it is just purely teak. And I want to take advantage, I know Steve is going to be watching eventually. One of the things that I want to bring up about this little homestead here is that it represents exactly how well qualified people can pull off these types of homestead projects in Costa Rica. The person that built this home is Spanish speaking and absolutely fluent. In fact, they're originally Cuban. And one of the keys to their success in the cabin project that we have here, this $250,000 property, was that he had the ability to really work things himself and direct the project. Many people imagine themselves coming down to Costa Rica and doing a similar project. I want to buy a larger lot and build my own enchanting little cabin back there using my own hands and local materials. But if you're not somebody like the seller of that property, you can quickly find out that it's very difficult to get things done here in Costa Rica. I've got clients that have this dream. They find out the hardware stores are impossible to navigate. They find out that really it's difficult to communicate with people. Even if they might have a little bit of English skills, as a foreman on a job, you really have to be able to communicate fluently and really be able to express yourself. So anyway, if you're considering some kind of project like this here located outside of Tamarindo, if you dream of moving to Costa Rica and building your own homestead, these types of projects really can be restricted to people who have that Spanish ability and ideally who also know the local Guanacaste culture, who are familiar with bureaucracies, permitting, on and on and on. I also wanted to mention another interesting tidbit about this property in particular. When we originally listed it, it's one of two listings we're going to talk about today that have gone up in price. And you may think that that's absolutely impossible. But when I listed this home, it actually had two defects that were fairly significant. The electrical service was kind of improvised and not necessarily completely legal. And second of all, you'd had an issue with this back exit that really wasn't a completed space. The seller is now adding those spaces. He loves living at the property and has gone up to $250,000 as the price for that listing with the improvements completed. So it's one case where you saw a listing price go up that people might think is extraordinary. Again, welcome folks. If you're just now tuning in, you're in Matt's first real estate forum here. Feel free to post a Costa Rica real estate listing. Send us the link into the chat or the comments if you're not watching this live. Dimitri is going to put that into a QR code and will present the listing to everybody to go see it themselves via that QR code. So don't hesitate to reach out if you want to see, if you have a specific listing and a specific question you would like me to address. Already got our first viewer question from Kushol, who asks about land in Tamarindo in general and Senderos specifically. Senderos is a luxury gated community just outside of Tamarindo. And here I can actually show you the location in just a moment here to give you an idea of what we're looking at. Senderos, as you're coming right into Tamarindo, is on your last turn of the road. just behind the massive commercial complex that has Auto Mercado in it. Here, we're looking at Senderos and what it will be. You go by their sales office, and their big pitch is that it's the last ocean view inventory in Tamarindo. Currently, I think their lowest asking prices for ocean view homes are in the mid 1.5 to 2 million range. And you're seeing the lots with the massive views sell even, I think, close to $700,000, $800,000 or some really high price for these absolute top, the key lots here with the absolute best ocean views. If you're asking my opinion on the project in general, and remember, none of this is legal advice, and you should also seek the counsel of an attorney and a really good realtor who's got experience in Tamarindo, someone like Costa Rica Matt. But in generally considering Senderos, it's representative of what's happened to prices in those absolutely prime communities. There just aren't many gated communities in Tamarindo. There aren't many that offer ocean views. And there really aren't options for people who are considering trying to find that sort of product. You could look over at Tamarindo Park, where you don't get ocean views and your price points start at about $1 million, 1.1 or 1.2. You could look over at some of the other projects that are being done with sort of lined up spec homes. Obviously, Punta San Francisco in Langosta is a major gated community, but Senderos is definitely a place where prices have absolutely reached their premium because you just don't have many options that will ever be similar to it. And the really Senderos actually has a backstory to it that I couldn't give the full version. It's been several different projects over the years, and originally it was owned, different developers have actually flopped, had to sell the project on to other developers, and at different points in history, it's stagnated. It wasn't only really until they rebranded it Senderos a few years ago, and then the pandemic created our real estate surge, that you saw Senderos just take off. And currently, you're seeing huge construction up on the hillside there. Every little bit of ocean view is being bought up in the community. And if I have anything negative to say about Senderos, it's that you're really looking at steep properties to get those views. They have a great engineering team that knows how to anchor houses into the side of the hill. I've got no doubt that they know how to build so that it's fine because, in Guanacaste, we don't really get mass landslides or anything. But I've taken a lot of people through Senderos, and if they have kids, a lot of times they think, these ocean view lots are just too steep for my little children. I can't imagine us having a yard here or really space for them to play. So overall, that's my thought. I actually had done a couple appraisals related to Senderos way back in the day, or a year and a half ago, when they were just reinitiating with things. And if you're considering purchasing there, and if you'd like some independent guidance, I would definitely be more than happy to help you consider it, because Senderos in Tamarindo is right in the middle of the area of coast on which I'm happy to help clients. Again, folks, if you're just tuning in, this is our real estate forum. If you want to know more about a certain listing, post your question, post the listing, and I'll give my impressions about it, even if I don't have too much to say. Let's go back. I think we had another question here. For someone who has a budget of around $250,000, what area would you suggest looking at from being best bang for the buck scenario? Not a listing specifically, but what I would say is that you specifically have to get far away from the major tourism hubs. If you want your $250,000 to purchase a standalone home with a lot of land, you're going to have to get away from those tourism hubs. If you want it to purchase a small condo, $250,000 can do a lot in either Coco or Jaco. But if you're looking for something bigger and you want your 250 to get the most bang for your buck, like you say, just go anywhere in the country that is not close to Playa Potrero and Flamingo, Tamarindo, Playa Grande, these areas with tons of tourists and tons of foreigners. There are cheap properties everywhere else in the country except for those tourism hubs. By the way, yeah, absolutely. Happy Groundhog Day, Mom. Wonderful of you to tune in. I really appreciate it. And cheers. Hope you're enjoying your 75th consecutive day on the couch. My mom is recovering from a little foot issue and has been in a boot for a while. So even she's reached the level of boredom where she's watching the real estate forum here. And cheers to anybody else out there, foot injury or otherwise, who is watching right now. Let's move on to another listing here and bring up listing number 2, Dimitri. We're going to talk about another one that Steve had asked to know more information about, was our new Plaza Tierra Pacifica condo. I just listed this 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo at $285,000. And if you've watched my channel, you saw in the tour video that it's just above my office here in a mixed commercial and residential building in Playa Junquillal. So anyhow, and I will get on to that question about the Vista condos for sure. But this condo, Plaza Tierra Pacifica number 2, and again, if you want to find this listing, all you have to do is scan this QR code using the camera on your phone and you can bring it up. Here, I'll just bring up the listing so that everyone can have an idea as well, or at least I will try to bring up the listing here. Okay. Again, our website is cbpacificrealty.com. Here, you can really easily find things by using the filters to quickly get listings, especially when you're desperate and looking during live television. So here we are with Plaza Tierra Pacifica number 4, finally at $285,000. And one of the things that I want to mention about this particular condo is that you're really not seeing inventory of this quality that is widely available anymore. And specifically, when I look at condos to judge their quality, first and foremost, obviously, I want to see if it's a concrete building versus one that has lots of sheetrock, drywall, and cheaper materials separating units. The building we're sitting in and this particular condo is absolutely solid concrete with enormously thick walls. The building itself was built 14 years ago when all of these materials and all of the labor required was far cheaper than it is today. And you would see that specifically this type of construction, the ultra solid, massive concrete, is difficult to replicate today at a similar price point. And for a condo like this, if you're looking at 1,200 square feet of really solid construction, your replacement cost these days is going to be far greater than $285,000 once we're talking about the land involved, all of the common area spaces, et cetera, et cetera. This particular condo is in a building with only 7 other units that share this pool. And to go on, I also wanted to comment on HOA fees at this condo, which at $410 a month can sound pretty steep to somebody just offhand who hasn't really been exposed to condo fees in our area. One of the things it's important to consider is that if you want to have a full-time paid employee providing security and you want to split that cost between only 7 or 12 or 15 condos, right there you have an enormous operating cost that is the basis of most of the high HOA fees in Costa Rica. And in fact, $410 a month is nowhere near what you would call really high fees in our market. Within Junquillal, you have Las Brisas condos with about $500 a month HOA fees, Villas Venado, where they're going to go to $550. You have Las Ventanas, where there are 20 condos and fees of $400 to $450 a month. You have Plaza Tierra Pacifica at $410 for a 2-bedroom. And the Iguana Villas, the 10 condos that are all 1,700 square feet, those are going up to $450 a month as well. So HOA fees, once you're providing security, a pool, all of this, and you're only defraying that cost between a smaller number of units, you're going to be paying $400 or $500 a month as your base for a pool and security. If you have more in your condo complex, you could easily have higher fees. Excuse me. For example, in my Playa Langosta market report, we were talking about some very high-end luxury condo projects that have fees as much as $700 or $800 a month. Those are projects with only 7, 8, maybe 10 condos. You see in Reserva Conchal, where you have access to some of the world's best amenities, HOA fees, and maintenance fees, and the combination of both the big ones and your local project can rack up to $1,000 a month or close to it. So condo fees here can seem high to outside visitors, but what you get is an absolute turnkey, 100% care from your condo walls outside, and that security that makes it easy to come and go from your property. Again, this is a Costa Rica Real Estate Forum. Feel free to post a real estate listing that you want to see. If you want to have questions about it, don't hesitate to add a link. We'll be doing this live every Thursday, so be sure to also subscribe, hit the notification button, and tune in next Thursday where we'll take more listings and go over them. And yes, Pigs 76, I will pull up any listing and go over it, give some initial feedback here. No matter how ugly it is, I'd be more than happy to give you some feedback, at least initially. Dimitri, there's a Rio Blanco retreat in Guayabo. Don't know if you'll be able to find that. We'll see if we can get the link as a QR code up for you all here now. Now let's go on to another listing of my own, number 3 here, which is now the Ocean View Retreat. I actually just got done rebranding this home because honestly, on many previous visits to this house, I had only gone there in the green season. And during the dry season, it's amazing how much things open up, and from a good deal of the home, you actually have a really nice ocean view. I'm realizing I meant to take pictures from my phone, put them on my laptop, and share these as well. But I just won't be able to do that now. For the moment, I'm going to pull up the listing here and show it to you all. This is yet another example where people went up with their listing price. And it's an example where actually things didn't substantially change about the property itself. You see in Costa Rica a lot of folks who come down and fall in love again with their property. And that's absolutely what happened with the property we're going to look at here, the Ocean View Retreat here. I apologize, I don't have a picture of the actual view on the listing yet, But anyhow, you can see this is our nice little home. This is located in the absolute most private spot you can find. It is the end of a road where no one would pass by. It is very much on a hilltop in the mountains of Guanacaste here. It's a really nice home where you're looking out over the forest in this direction, and in the opposite direction, if you were to turn around here and look to the right, you can now see the ocean view that's opened up on this side. Really, it's just an absolutely pitch perfect place for people who love their privacy. But this is a place that has also been too adventurous for almost every client that we've taken up there over the years. To get this level of privacy, you have to go on some very back rural roads. And to be honest, most people that I end up on tours with aren't really the folks that absolutely want to be that tucked away into the woods. It's not for everybody. And these folks came back to Costa Rica. We had it listed on the market for, if you've been watching my channel, you would have seen that it was previously listed less than $300,000. And they came and they looked at the market, they looked at what they have, they looked at the view, and decided to go to $300,000 because they think it's worth it. And they're willing to sit with the property until the right person comes along that sees the value in it as well. That's something I can't really, it's tough to express how much the Costa Rica real estate market can also involve this sort of emotional ego factor as well. And really, it's not uncommon to see sellers make this kind of change, even if it seems contrary to the logic of the market. Well, the property hasn't sold. Why are you going up? Well, we love it, and we know that someday somebody else is going to understand that. They're going to see the value as well, and we're willing to sit on the property. One of my absolute maxims, and sorry, I'm going to go ahead and take a sip here. One of my absolute maxims, especially negotiating with sellers of Costa Rica property, there is no reason for you to ever present your reasoning for debating a price point. If you want to present an offer on a particular home and say, you know, this is $300,000, but I'm only willing to pay $240,000, there's no reason in the known universe for you to say, I want to pay $240,000 because A, the house is remote, B, it's kind of small, and C, the couch is old, or just to explain your reasoning. Because all of those reasons are probably different than what the seller feels about their property. And you've just opened up 3 bones to pick that were completely unnecessary. You present your offer, and that expresses your opinion. I think your property is worth only this much. They can read it in black and white, loud and clear, and you don't want to risk really ticking off those sellers by presenting an offer with side information, reasons that they might heartily disagree with. You know, especially if you're trying to point to the condition of the house. Oh, it's really, you know, I don't feel that it's livable, etc. I need, you know, you don't want to say that to the person who loves their property, and it can absolutely make life a little bit more difficult. Have we found the Guayabo retreat here? Absolutely. I'm going to bring it up here on my own computer so that I can see it first. If we get it over here on WhatsApp. Again, to hammer on the little graphic that I made, this is Costa Rica Matt's Real Estate Forum #1. Thursdays live at noon. I'll be taking questions and listings from viewers who are interested in Costa Rica real estate, and I'll be providing my feedback, thoughts, comments, etc., just to try and give general ideas And as always, definitely not to provide legal advice. Always reminding you that you should find a local realtor and attorney to guide you in your final purchase decision. Let's bring up, Dimitri's going to put a QR code here on the screen so that those of you watching at home can pull up the listing. We have the Rio Blanco Retreat, which is a listing by Prestige Costa Rica Properties, or at least the profile that I have. And immediately, here are a couple comments that I have if I were to look at this with prospective buyers. And one of the things that I want to do here, first and foremost, I want to try and show you all the location so that I can discuss a little bit about where it is. And let's see here. Let's hope that this is it, more or less. No, it doesn't look like I initially found it. But anyway, if you're looking at the listing at home, you can see that this property is located just a little bit north and east of Bagaces. I'll show you here approximately on the map. In Costa Rica, you've got this highway, the Pan American Highway that runs north to south. This connects all the way to California and Canada and down to Tierra del Fuego in Argentina. It also passes the city of Liberia. Here is the international airport. And this resort that is for sale, this property is located about here. One of the things I want to talk about on the location specifically is that this is not a location that is going to bring a huge amount of organic tourism past your doorstep if you're looking to develop an actual retreat center. I'm just interpreting that it might be sort of an ecotourism destination property. But for a home, I actually think that as a place to live, this could be a spectacular location because to come back to the maps here, one of the things that really makes this area nice is that you have a mid-level elevation up here at Bagaces and climbing up towards La Fortuna. Really, you're going to have just slightly cooler weather. This property has a river on it, and you could definitely see permanent rivers in this area of the country. But definitely it's a place where you wouldn't have quite this severe dry season that you end up seeing out here in our hotter areas of Guanacaste. If you came closer to the coastline, that's where we get just the blistering hot March and April. Up here near Bagaces, you're going to get cooler weather. If this property listing is correct, they're offering a 3-bedroom, 3-bed house for $139,000 on 2 acres. Really looking at the house, it's one of these Tico-ish, definitely a simple home, but clearly comfortable enough. The furniture does look like it's what you would expect in a home for $139,000. Very simple. But one of the things that would really strike me here is that, if they're actually, they say it's a 1,700 square foot home on 2 acres. If it's really only $139,000, I would want to see, in reaching out to the agent, I would ask for the actual exact location of this property. On their website, they've got it really close to the highway, and that looks appealing to me. If it were actually close, oh, no, actually, I take that back. On their website, it's pretty far up in the mountains. So this might be a very clear situation where once you get on the road, the drive up to this place is just absolutely difficult. It says right off a paved highway in the listing, but I see the paved highway as a good distance from where the map pin shows up on their listing profile. And that's one of the first questions I always really want to know from people. Really, are you good? Tell me about the location, and are you honest in your listing profile? Can I see the exact GPS pin of where this property is located? And can I have the nearest paved highway access? That could give you an idea before you see it, but it seems like a great deal. You have tons of construction, 1,700 square feet, tons of land, 2 acres, and only $139,000. I mean, it absolutely sounds like a very good value property if the construction is concrete and solid and not just, a 3-bedroom tent. But really, I would imagine that you're going to find the price is what it is, and this is so affordable because the access might not be the most appealing to any prospective buyers who've been looking at it. So that was the Rio Blanco retreat. If you have a listing out there that you want me to take a look at and give you some feedback on, I'm more than happy to do so. I did see that we had the same viewer who asked earlier about Senderos also asked about the Vista condos in Tamarindo. These are pre-construction condos that are for sale. And I'll have, Dimitri, if you'd create a QR code for the Vista condos. They're being exclusively listed. Actually, I'm not exactly sure who has the exclusive listing. There are several new projects of condos. I would imagine that the Vista residences are being sold directly by the Diria Group, the developer who owns a lot of Tamarindo, including the beachfront resort. And yes, you're right, the prices are high there. I can't think of them. I'm not going to pull it up. I'm sure they're close to $1 million for the larger 3-bedroom condos. To pull this up on the stream here really quick and show you again, back to trusty Google Maps, the Vista condos in Tamarindo are, here we come back down to Tamarindo first. The Vista condos are located at an absolute peak here at the very top of the hill. I'm trying to figure out exactly where it is on this hillside. But essentially, it's at the peak of Tamarindo, and they're building. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is where they're building them. On one side, you have the Senderos neighborhood back over here. And on this side, you've got the Vista looking down over. The road going up to these condos, I don't know if, Keshel, you've been on it yourself. It's one of the strangest roads you've ever seen in the difference between the value of the real estate located along it versus the condition of the road. You drive up this steep, winding path, from the oh gosh, I'm forgetting the little hotel down at the road in Tamarindo, the Best Western here. You turn up and you come up this winding road. It's ultra steep. It can be in absolutely horrible condition. And on both sides, you have $1 million real estate, some of the biggest Tamarindo homes. You've got El Tesoro to one side. This is the ocean view, massive ridge that provides the best views in Tamarindo, and it's always been the site of most of really those palatial ocean view homes. This area being Senderos, Tesoro being another luxury gated community. And then, you've got public roads that come up here. And really, I just personally, that particular road seems to me to be, it's unappealing to live all the way up here because frankly, I'm not a hill climber. I couldn't walk up and down that road on a daily basis and enjoy my access down to the water. I think that road, you also would have to have one of those serious gas-powered, real golf cart, with serious tread on the tires. You couldn't just have a little beach mobile. That being said, I've seen a guy on an electric bike fly up the hill with a little bit of pedaling help. So to be honest, the location isn't my favorite in Tamarindo. You've got that narrow road where as everything is built out and as you get condos and just more stuff up there, it's going to be trafficked and, tight spaces and all kinds of interesting, turnarounds and angles to avoid trucks there. I don't know how far along the condos are. I personally haven't been up to that point in a very long time. I do know that this Ocean View lot itself sold for $479,000 about a year ago. This was $1 million sort of older historic home. It sold a few years ago at that price point, and the views up here are just absolutely perfect because, you can actually see down to the surfers at the beach, not just the water itself, but you're so up there, you really feel like you're looking down at the activity on the sand itself. The vista will be a solid investment. I'm sorry, don't give investment advice on it. The vista has a solid developer putting it together. The Diria Group is enormous, and they're going to be a success because of their record. The Diria Group also owns a bunch more land up here, I believe, and they've got the Diria Hotel down here on the ocean front. Really, it's a solid backer for the project. And if I were representing a buyer, I wouldn't be worried whatsoever about those condos being completed, well built, and done correctly. Let's move on here. We have another request from a viewer here for a real estate listing. We are looking at, let's see here. Oh, the Vista condos. Sorry, that was for the QR code. This is one of many listing profiles that you would see out there, the Vista condos. Here, like I said, I'm pretty sure they're doing a direct sales program. And, it's a place that will just have absolutely spectacular views. Here you see a starting price point of $660 for a 2-bedroom. I know they were also going to offer 3 beds, and it looks like they've sold a good deal of their inventory. In fact, right now it looks like there are 2 units for sale still, both of them 3 bedrooms, $765 and $840. Among the Ocean View condo inventory in Tamarindo right now, that sounds right in line with what you're going to pay, whether it's La Vista, the 360 project that started over at a different area, $750 to $850 for a 3-bedroom at their Ocean View residences will be absolutely right in line with what I would expect something like that to cost. So anyhow, folks, if we don't have any more listings to check out today, I want to remind you that next Thursday at noon Central Standard Time, we'll be back again with another Costa Rica Real Estate Forum. It's been an absolute pleasure having you along today. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for sending your listings. Again, if you want to look for real estate in the Tamarindo area, do be sure to send me an email to matt@cbpacificrealty.com. Thanks again. Greetings from Costa Rica. My name is Matt Rosenstiel, also known as Costa Rica Matt. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about everything related to moving to Costa Rica. Greetings from Costa Rica. Welcome to my new exclusive listing here in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Here in Costa Rica, in Playa Junquial, Playa Tamarindo, Costa Rica, real estate, a pura vida lifestyle. What the heck? Just kidding. So whether you're interested in buying real estate in Costa Rica or you just want to learn more about this beautiful country, do be sure to subscribe to my channel. Thanks very much for watching.